Well, the news came out yesterday, Brad, that Pete Crow-Armstrong and the Chicago Cubs were finalizing a long-term contract extension, and now it appears that those terms are out, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty damn good deal for the Cubbies. Early reports are that it's 6 years, $115 million for PCA.
All right.
That is less than $20 million a year for a guy that is 23 years old and is coming off a season last year where he had 30 and 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. He had 31 home runs and 35 stolen bases, 95 RBIs, and he scored 91 runs and played nearly every single game. Remember, PCA came over to the Cubbies in that big trade with the New York Mets a couple of years ago, and he has done nothing but turn into an absolute star ever since. Remember, the Mets got back Javi Baez and Trevor Williams in that trade. You want to talk about an all-time steal. And now PCA, also Gold Glover last year, is now locked up for the future for the Chicago Cubs. I think it's a great deal. Obviously, again, you're getting them less than $20 million. Your initial thoughts on your everyday center fielder getting locked up?
Way to go, Cubs. Way to go, PCA. Get the deal done, signing on the dotted line. Obviously, an up-and-coming star. He had just a monstrous first half last year. I mean, we're talking right here on BetMGM tonight, him being very heavily involved in the NL MVP conversation. Now, that fell by the wayside pretty quickly after the All-Star break as the numbers really tumbled, largely because of his impatience. High fastballs he could not lay off of. The strikeouts mounted, didn't really draw a lot of walks. But the numbers at the end of the season, you mentioned a 30-30 season cannot be overlooked. He is the best defensive center fielder in the game. Just a wizard, a magician out there with the leather. And that's worth every penny of this contract alone. But if we somehow, some way, and I'm saying we because I'm a diehard Chicago Cubs fan, if we somehow, some way can get PCA to get around a 340, a 350 on base percentage. Oh, baby, that is going to unlock an absolute stud and extraordinaire across the board because he's probably going to swipe 45 or 50 bags if he can actually exercise more patience at the dish, which allegedly has worked on so far in spring training. We'll see if he can really put that into practice when the regular season begins for the Cubbies on Thursday. But yeah, bravo to the organization. Bravo to Hoyer, this front office, for getting a deal done. PCA is beloved on the north side, and a guy is going to be a fixture eventually when he starts drawing walks atop the Cubs lineup.
Yeah, well, and by the way, he rejected the Cubs extension offer a year ago, and now he's getting paid over $115 million here. He's the second highest paid Cub, behind only Alex Bregman, who they just brought in with the massive move in free agency. And so there you go, man. You mentioned definitely needs to cut down on the strikeouts. Had basically one per game last year. Only walked 29 times, so he had an average of 247 and an OBP of just 287. So that's definitely got to improve. But so that's the thing. Where does PCA hit in this Cubs lineup? Because I think our video producer Monty said that they rolled out a spring training lineup. I think today was their last game of spring training, so probably close to what you can expect for opening day. And if I'm not mistaken, PCA was hitting leadoff. So they've got him. They had him lead off. They had Bush batting second, Alex Bregman third, Ian Happ in cleanup. Nico Horner, my guy who I briefly played with in the Northwoods League, batting fifth, and Swanson sixth. And then Moises Ballesteros, the DH, at seven. Carson Kelly or Miguel Amaya, the catcher, maybe eight. Michael Conforto, who is a non-roster invitee, maybe cracks the opening day and cracks the opening day lineup to round it out. But a guy at the top of your order, you can't have that guy not getting on base and being a good table setter. So there's definitely some concerns if he's going to bat at the top of the order to start the season.
Well, look, I think it has everything to do with the handedness of the pitcher. As Garrett Cole, who was on the bump, he's a righty. So, PCA had a very respectable 271 against right-handed pitchers last year. What he struggled against was against southpaws, in which he only had a buck 88. That is the specialty of Nico Horner, is teeing off and making hard contact against LHPs. So I think you're going to see, kind of a switcheroo with Ian Happ mixed in as well, top of the order against left-handed pitchers. Probably going to be Nico Horner, bat and lead off, or possibly Ian Happ, who is a switch hitter. And then PCA will probably bat 5 or 6 in that lineup. But against right-handed pitchers, predominantly it's going to be PCA. So I think it's all about who is towing the rubber, all about what the matchup is going to be on a pitch-by-pitch basis. PCA has really got to improve, not only with the eye, but his contributions against LHPs this year.
Yeah. So I just remember Brandon Combs, our producer, saying that he was going to win the MVP. Guy didn't even hit the Mendoza line against left-handed pitchers. So maybe we focus on incremental improvements first before we start getting carried away here with MVP discussions. But I joke. It's a great deal for the Cubs. It's a great deal for Pete Crow-Armstrong, and he is probably going to be an all-star this year if he lives up to those big expectations that you and a lot of other Cubby fans have put on him, Brad. So it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure for a 23-year-old.